Hello, bench-warming tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Renaissance with me, BlueAnkylo. In between episodes, I walked to where we left off, basically. I didn't do anything else. Don't worry about it. I just ran away from some enemies. I did buy some scrolls, mostly the ones that are somewhat useful. Fire, lightning, ice, mostly. Yeah. Welcome back. It's me. It's probably the last episode, assuming we don't get just bodied. But let's go. We got a blue dragon here. Say hello. Say goodbye, maybe. We have lots of spell slots. We can just do fun stuff like Goblin. Goblin Punch! And then we get Thunder. Well, clearly we don't have all our ribbons yet. As Aragorn takes half his HP in a single hit, forcing me to spend a minute in the menu healing him. Cool. That's the classic Blue Dragon experience, though, to be fair. Okay, let's go up. Actually, there is a really cool Easter egg. Pretty techy. Pretty nerdy. Pretty Y2K. Okay, we got a couple extra scrolls. Do I want the Bane Sword? I don't care. Do I want anything else on this floor? I don't care. I'm kind of, you might be able to tell, the last couple episodes, I think, perhaps has been fairly obvious that I'm not really enjoying most of this gang, and I've been trying to find ways of salvaging it. I swear, I'm trying. It's not coming out. It's not working. This squad's pretty bad. Not equally bad. Some of them are less bad than others, but yeah, I'm having a really hard... It's not just the synergy or lack of synergy. It's literally like these guys just don't kill stuff. Okay, so the plan is 3 ribbons and then 1 person with at least dragon armor and a pro ring. Right? That makes sense. I might hold on to the red shirt. Probably not. Slow 2 is probably not enough to worry about. Is there any reason to grab the white shirt or the black shirt? Think. Got a little pet eye there, that's cool. Problem is it's armor, and I think the power glove is the best thing the summoner is going to be able to do. So would I rather have him cast Invis too? Not really. You could drop the crit or something on the ranger and have access to Invis too. That will help, but we do have access to Fenrir for guaranteed evade, which is better and worse in some ways. So I don't think we need the white shirt, and we don't really have anyone I want to give it to other than maybe the Beastmaster. But ideally, the Beastmaster will have a summon that casts its own spells. So yeah, I think we skip it. And then black shirt, yes, Ice 2 will be the strongest spell Joseph can use, but it kind of defeats the purpose of having a summoner, so no. And then no one can use the Excalibur, so we don't need it. Fortunately, I did remember on this floor. Now, realistically, with a ninja, we should probably go get his ultimate weapon first, but whatever. What could possibly go wrong? What's the order here? Hey, some Gurnagas. We'll fight. Immediately get evasive. Well, now it's my evasive Gurnaga. These are Guardian Nagas. These are the good ones that usually have, like, cleric spells. The other Nagas in the Water Shrine are the other type of Nagas. I always forget the name of these guys. But they're the evil, like, wizard style. Nope. Red D's? What are you doing up here? I guess Tiamat, she should be, like, the queen of all chromatic dragons. So I guess we should be seeing all 5 dragon types up here. You know, there's no black dragons, technically. Just in case you're watching developers, you could add a black dragon. No, the Zombie D is not black dragon. That's an undead, that's a Draco Lich, technically. Pretty sure everybody knows that, right? I want my Dragon Lance. Loved in Dragonlance, but AD&D Dragonlance specifically. Dragonlances do, I think it's the wielder's current HP as damage to dragons, and in a system where hitting for 20 damage is pretty good. Being able to do like 100, 150 damage is pretty good. And it's the same kind of way the mechanic works for old school dragons' breath attack, because they used to do breath damage based on the dragon's HP, the max HP, I think. Maybe current? Probably max, I forget. But yeah, that was bad. You will die. That's why there's a lot of like scrolls of dragon breath protection and stuff to specifically give you a chance. Stuff like that is part of the plot. Pretty common. At least if you play the Gold Box games anyway. If you like Final Fantasy 1, maybe you should go check out some Gold Box, Pool of Radiance, Death Knights of Kryn, those kinds of games. I do have them on my channel, but they're pretty good. Alright, so this is Phoenix, right? Weak to water, not that helpful, but we have Leviathan. Sure, that'll totally make a difference. Resist, I'm just going to assume that's everything. That's a big long list, and only weak to water. Okay. Technically a spellcaster. Wait, let me think, because I have my arrows now. Or I used to have a few arrows. I did not grind for extra arrows, sorry. It does resist silence, so that's never going to work. It resists petrify, so the stone arrow will never work. Confuse. Okay, it basically just means I have nothing I can do. Cool, thanks. I love it. Always happy when the boss has all the resistances to anything you could possibly do that might be fun. It's going to do a lot of fire damage. Fortunately, we all resist fire, so that's not too bad. My guy might die if I summon him, but I'll summon him. Paralysis. I guess it's probably flying. This is if he had an on... Actually, I didn't check that. Does he have, like, stun touch? It doesn't really matter, but... He has burn. We could remove his burn status if we use that arrow. Boy, that's great. Yeah. Maybe if he's a magic beast, you could do that if you grinded out the materials. But he's immune to silence. These... I mean, I can reduce his physical attack by, like, 4. That's... doesn't matter. Let's just put a Hunter's Mark on him, I guess. And, what's the most useful thing we can do here? Fenrir. Don't get hit. And then Leviathan for more damage. You could have reflected it, I suppose, but that just messes up all my other stuff. Attack. Magic. I mean, I could put wall up on the people that don't have wall. I could go for the X4 again. You never know. It doesn't even matter. Honestly, just keeping my team healed might be the best play with heal 3. Because I don't have very good healing. And I think, honestly, Power Glove is probably the real play for Ryu, but I will do a Leviathan because we're a summoner. Yeah, that's pretty solid heal 3. That's good. 1,000 damage. Yeah, we'll be fine. Honestly, the fact that we can cast heal 3 every turn is not bad. We can get a guaranteed crit, heal 100, 50 to 100 HP, and hit for over 1,000. That's not too shabby. And we get a Leviathan off. Maybe, like... I mean, the fight's almost over, I suppose. But maybe, like, 1 or 2 turns of power bonking would be worth it. I mean, you can see the difference the Leviathan enchant water makes. It's not a huge difference. Maybe it's because we've got the guaranteed crit. It ignores the enemy's defense. So what we really need is base power up. You know, actually, Power Glove maybe really combos just insanely well with that Hunter's Mark. Because the guaranteed crit loves high base damage. Because you double it again. And you ignore enemy armor. Yeah, I think that actually is, like, just an insanely powerful combo. I will still use Leviathan one last time, but yeah, I think just stacks of Power Glove and crits, that's about all we could do with this group for max damage. I think that is the optimal strat. Fast, and then just power bonk, power bonk, power bonk. So we did 1800 damage last turn. Now we have Enchant Water. This is our time to see if it makes a difference. Nobody else go, except make sure we get a crit again. Well, we might Leviathan him, I guess. Yeah, that might kill him. Nope. 2600. So that was still... I think we did 1800 up to 2600. There's still a range of damage, but maybe 50% bonus with water because we had so many attacks, maybe? I don't know. That was about as good of a fight for this party as we've had. I mean, we're at the point where we have ribbons, we have most of the magic, almost every weapon in the game. It would have been even crazier if I picked up the katana. Although not by too much. Because the crit chance doesn't matter, interestingly enough. Do I get a Protect Cloak from the right? The only one that would want it would be Joseph or Dar. I don't care, too many steps. The Protect Cloak is just basic absorb. It helps. I just don't think it really matters. This one, thank you. So if I pick this up first, we would have done 3 more damage per hit. It would have helped a little, but not very much for total DPS. Rock Golems. You know what? Rock Golems, I do know. Rare enemy, actually weak to water. Leviathan, go. One last time. To be honest, there are a fair number of enemies weak to water, so I shouldn't complain too much about that specific element in the Renaissance. Then again, if everything's dead before Leviathan pops, so... Could we have killed them without casting that spell? Yeah. Basically, the spell probably didn't really do anything. I'm pretty sure it didn't really change the outcome. Except the... I mean, the summoner could have just used a Power Glove or something, right? But that is a small point to the summoner, is they have access to some elements that a Black Mage does not. This is a pretty strong single target enemy. Actually, this is... Oh, they're considered humanoid, though. You can't control them. I was going to say, like, this might be somebody who would be interested to control, because he's got a lot of armor and hits pretty hard, but they are considered humanoid despite their robotic status. Honestly, you might want to go Fenrir here just because they hit so hard if you're really trying to do this fight. And we need the crits. That was 0 crits, so that was bad. So maybe... I mean, the Power Glove on Dar isn't the worst either. But it's really just you want the crits on Ryu. And we'll go Rambo here to maybe bump it up. Yeah, it would be nice. I guess the white shirt here wouldn't be completely useless. Well, I say that. We do have a shirt. Hey, Remu killed something. Okay, we fought one. Good enough. Clearly winnable, not a huge issue. And I think we're good. Are we good? The legendary pink chicken has arrived. Okay, okay. Now I could just say no, but I will not. Not this Ankylo. We are going fast. It's uncontrollable. I have checked that before. It's pretty dangerous. We can't resist nuclear. Let's call our healing beast. Let's... What types does it have? It's probably robotic. Regenerative mechanical. Not very good for my arrows. It would be funny if I just petrified it in one shot. I gotta try. Maybe we'll get that finally. We'll just shoot it in a critical joint and paralyze it. I think you might even want to just spam Phoenix here just to not die. Because you get re-raise. I think Odin just kills it, though. Fenrir gives us some defense, but I think Odin says goodbye. We got him paralyzed anyway. Never mind. Never mind. Maybe I should be using the fighter just for saving on potions. Oh, well. Goodbye. You know what? Summoners are great. I mean, it's kind of silly. There's like a million ways to trivialize war mechs nowadays in Renaissance, but Fenrir and Odin certainly work pretty well against those guys. But you know what? Really give credit to Leg Shot there. 50-50 chance of paralyzing him. That was pretty sweet. All right, next. Hey there, Tiamat. How you doing? I didn't bring the Bane sword. Sorry. I know you love that one. We'll do some fast again. You know, clearly summoning my friend is always a good sign. Hunter's Mark. And what do we want to use? Can't kill bosses like that. All breaths can't be reflected. I think you can confuse her, though. The classic. Yeah. The classic. Oh, we took so much damage. I gotta use heal potions again. I think we have a Hunter's Mark on her already, so that doesn't really matter. Maybe we'll just do a limit. And more cool magic. So Tiamat's totally weak to poison. If only I had a poison spell. That would change everything here. I guess Power Glove on Aragorn before the limit would have done something, but yeah. Compared to the Summoner boss fights, those guys are chill. Okay, well, that's that. I guess we have one more summon to get, though. Okay. Are you gonna be friendly? Thank you. Let's buy some more potions. I think you have to fight a bunch of dragons. Yeah. There's a bunch of forced fights before we get to the next boss. But now we get to do a fight that's probably deadlier than Chaos. Just to get a spell that, well, you know, looks really cool, but it's the end of the game. I didn't forget anything, did I? I've got my katana. Control Whip seems probably the best. I think against a boss, if you're going to swing with the Beastmaster, you switch to Beast Sword, probably. But it doesn't matter that much. I guess it gets their damage pretty comparable to the katana. Just less crit, basically. Yeah. Alright. Well, let's see how it goes. I've done this fight once or twice. I don't know if I've done it on New Game Plus, technically. Here we go again. Unfortunately, we can't just test fight. We gotta do all these prep fights first to prove that we're not weaklings. These fights shouldn't be too bad, but we can definitely get chipped down by those breath attacks. Yeah, Kate Sip is probably play. The thing that's gonna bug me the most is just all the menuing time on the heal potions, I guess. None of these fights should be like particularly threatening. It's just how much damage do we take before we can kill them. And the summoner spells are really bad at quickly killing them, as we know. There we go. Excuse me? 1 out of 4? What? Since when? Turn in your Kate Sith badge. I guess dragons might have decent resistances, but I thought I had that better success rate over time than that. That might have just been a bad fluke. Well, 200 magic defense is kind of on the high end, so okay. You know what would be nice? A button. So in the gold box games on D&D, this is what I'm thinking about. There's a fix command. Kind of cheats. But the idea is you rest and recover your spell slots and then cast them all on your people, on your friends. And then you rest again and you cast all your healing spells on your people. It kind of cheats the math a little bit, but it's because the game developers know that if you're just in AD&D, if you're just resting, sitting around, you recover 1 hit point a day, I think, if I remember correctly. So you have to use like cleric spells, white magic, to heal up. And because no one really wants to go cure light wounds, cure light wounds, cure light wounds, re-memorize all my spells, take a long rest, recover them, cast the spell 5 times, repeat until you're finally healed up. The game developers included a fix button, which just lets you simulate that all instantly. You see where I'm going? What if Final Fantasy Renaissance had a fix button? Like, right here on the menu, somewhere up here, and it was just like, use heals until fully healed. That's all. Maybe it would waste them too, because you'd get like, I don't need to use that last heal potion. It doesn't matter. I would be fine with that. If I want to preserve every single heal potion, I'll use them manually. But if I don't care, I'll just click use all and just heal to max. What do you guys think? Quality of life? Not too overpowered. Doesn't really... Technically inefficient. Just saves you time, not resources. I think that could work. I don't think that'd be too complicated to program either, really. Not a crazy difficult feature compared to some things. Oh man, Dar's dead. Error. Well, 3 out of 4 is pretty good. Alright. Good turn. They are now weak to fire, theoretically. I think they're not normally resist... Actually, they might already be weak to fire. Wait. Okay, one thing I've never really been able to check. No, they're not normally. It's ice and wind, but they don't resist fire. What if you use a scroll that says it lowers their resistance to an element, and they're already weak to it? Do they get double weak? Is this like a quad effectiveness Pokemon thing? And then, like, if they're resistant to it, does it just make them neutral to it? Is that how this is working? I need more information, and it's kind of hard to test. Because that might... Thing is, I don't even know the base power of these scrolls. I don't know exactly how much damage they do anyway. So I'm always kind of guessing, is this a plus 50% or a minus 100%? Or plus or minus 50%, whatever, how you want to think about it. Because of their weakness and resistances. Like, it doesn't say this is super effective. You gotta add that to the dialogue box. Okay, yeah, blue dragon's the most dangerous of dragons. You know it, I know it. Don't mess with the blues. At least with the dragon armor, it does give us fire, ice, lightning. Just can't get poison protection, but it's not bad. These guys are weak to fire, strictly speaking. Roar. Amazing E3 single target damage. That's also the problem with AoEs, right? You want them to hit lots of targets. By waiting 2 turns, the targets start dying usually if your group doesn't suck. I guess if you just had one summoner and like a bard, a white mage, and a green mage. If you just had 3 support casters with no damage, and all they did was keep the summoner alive, you could kill things on the second turn, and the rest of the team would just keep them alive and keep the party protected. That sounds really bad. Like, it would work, I guess. Maybe. It'd be slow. You take a lot of damage, but, you know, green mages give you regen. You'd be fine. Just slow. I mean, that might be a fairly effective way to play. To build a party that was just, we're not in a rush. This is the we're taking our time party. Maybe the anti-water, like the summoning buff, the anti part of it, could be consumed on Exuviate for another 5 damage from the green mage. The green mage should probably be on the scrub squad. But alright, Bahamut. Here we go. Yeah, let's look at those stats. Resists every element. Weak to nothing. Immune to probably every status. Confusion, death, paralysis, silence, sleep, petrify, bind. Bind. What? You can't stop him from running away? He already has 999 morale. Doom. Is there anything missing in there? Like slow, maybe? If you can get around the status protection. Slow too, theoretically. Dark is not in there, but that doesn't really matter. The dark doesn't help. I guess you could poison him. He's not immune to being poisoned. Nobody seems to care about that. Alright. He is a Magic Beast spellcaster flying dragon boss. Oh, Mega Flare. I don't know if we're ready for this. It's non-elemental, but he is sleep immune. He hits really hard, but I think it's more of a DPS race. I think I put Fenrir up immediately so his physicals don't kill people. But honestly, just spamming Phoenix is possibly the play. I think if we see him charging his laser, we use Phoenix, because he's going to kill everybody. I think that's the only play. What are his other spells? Are they reflectable? Because in a lot of Final Fantasies, you want to reflect up against Odin. But I'm pretty sure we tested that Mega Flare. Nah, none of those are reflectable. Those are all dragon... I'm pretty sure those are all skills. That's kind of annoying. It should be reflectable. That was the classic solution. Fenrir, Phoenix, Golem in theory, but I don't think it's enough. That's about it. It's going to be Fenrir and buff up that ninja and hope he can live. And he didn't start with Mega Flare. Alright, what were his elements? Is there any reason to put wall up, is my thinking. Is his 3 breaths all ice, fire, lightning? The same thing Dragon Armor protects you against, so you don't need to put wall up on Dar, because it doesn't really matter. We have fast. I think I'm going to try to take a turn or 2 to temper. So I think we need a lot of damage. No, we've got the guaranteed crit. We do the crit. We just get the heals off, I think. Stay at max HP. Because our healing is going to be a bit weak. And we already Hunter's Mark, so this turn I don't think any of these matter. I guess Wing Shot will remove his Paralyze on hit. But we're already going evasive anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah... Limit for some damage, and I think honestly just getting Ryu buffed as quickly as we can. I think having that fighter out is what's going to save us. Although that was like 1500 damage or something. That's not bad. But this heal 3 every turn I think is going to be the thing that keeps us alive. And the guaranteed crit and the ever-increasing swing. Just pour it all into the ninja. Yeah, 1300. And then Fenrir is up so that the boss can't just tap someone to death. Do we have a special? No. Just heals. Still, this is solid, and it's going to keep getting better and better unless the... Well, Tiamat's rival, Bahamut, you know, they are dragon gods after all. Definitely stronger than Tiamat. But eventually Mega Flare will hit, and that will kill us all, I think. That's why I'm like, this is kind of a rush. It's coming next turn. We got him. Okay, no problem. That's the thing, is we didn't really have time. I know the power of that spell because we've used it. We can see it right now. Non-elemental 600. So that means the range is effectively 300 to 1200. If you fail your magic resistance check, it's 600 to 1200, which kills everybody. Heck, even taking the half damage still might kill you. Although the people with over 500 have a decent chance. I would say if we were at max HP, I would bet one person might survive. But we would have to go Phoenix, basically, and hope that Phoenix went off before Bahamut's... I think Phoenix is the only way to actually survive it. And the problem is, you don't know if he will use his laser before you can start casting Phoenix to get re-raise up. Once you see him, unless you just cast Phoenix over and over again, which was just, you know, we can only do that for 5 turns or 10 turns, I guess. But that's not going to be, I don't think that's the solution. Anyway, we got him, first try. Mostly due to not using summon magic much. And to be honest, Fenrir was technically a reduction of damage because he never physically attacked. Now, you didn't know, but in practice, in that specific battle, it would have been better off to just start power gloving immediately and just try to kill him as fast as possible. Yeah, that's fine. Now, will we use Bahamut? Maybe. I always forget if we can pick up the warp stone right away, or do I have to go open the gate first? Let's test this out. We have not opened the gate. It'd be nice if you could get more than one. No. It's kind of weird, because the only way you'd ever get this, unless you have exit, if you have exit, it's worthless. So the only way you'd ever find this, I don't know how I didn't read about it, I just randomly, like, I feel like I just randomly talked to the king. Can't remember why, it was like maybe the Bard quest or something I was doing. But effectively, you have to get right to the end of the game, do this, and then go talk to the king. Maybe I did get it on an exit run with a white mage. My first party was the standard white fighter, black belt, white and black. Maybe I got the Massa warp or exited out, and then I'm like, oh, it's Renaissance, maybe we should talk to some people. And then I'm like, oh, a warp stone, useless. Like, it didn't matter on a black mage, white mage party, but this group, it is a way out. I could buy more scrolls. I could try to farm more ammo. I don't think it matters. I guess I should check. Oh, I forgot. I forgot a couple drops in the top of sky. 10,000 gold, some more gold, some scrolls, another power staff. Okay, we didn't miss anything that important. Don't worry about it. Final dungeon. Can I get some final dungeon music? One sec. I do really like the theme for this dungeon. Excuse me, where is this? What's the name? What's it called? This is the one. Okay, Chaos Shrine. Let's go. It's a triple frosty. We should just run from everything, realistically. Yeah, for now. At least the first couple battles. Oh, so loot. Yeah, I got my loot up. There is Where's this floor? Yeah, the map for Topher is, you know, pretty large. There's a Chaos Greatsword that I already missed. A big money and a heal 3. And if I take a different warp, I could go to the Earth floor early and get a whole bunch of money. Yep, I could. Worthless. So don't worry about that stuff. The Chaos Greatsword is, in theory, really good if you have a Dark Knight and a Thief. Otherwise, you'll never get that ultimate sort of weapon. Okay, not doing that. Some more heal potions. There is something on this floor that's worth getting. Maybe you can control this guy and kill this guy. I will be using Kate Sith on basically unrunnable fights on the way down, I think. Although this one isn't super... This is like the worst one, right? Because we can't resist poison on all 4 party members. And I could try to use my... Depending on the fight, if it's relatively easy, this is not. You know, we could summon the fighter that's not a fighter and have them heal the party up while we're... you know, taking our time. This might not be that bad, actually. Especially if we can kill the mages. So this is kind of like the better version of having a heal staff to heal the party. You do kind of need to set it up and wait around a little bit. But this way we don't need to use heal potions, right? Oops. Right, magic, heal 3. Just one more turn will be fine. Oh no, we took damage! So in further optimization strats, if you recatch, it should re-heal it. Which is weird, but it's what it does. Oops. Wrong one, meant to do more Power Glove. Anyway, yeah, so that's... I think that's a decent use of the Beastmaster for resource conservation. Meanwhile... No... It is better than Opal. This is like a really good bracelet that only the thief can find. 42 armor is equivalent to dragon armor. Maybe it's better. Maybe I shouldn't have dropped the... You know, I shouldn't have dropped the gold bracelet. I should have left Joseph with it and actually put the diamond bracelet on the ninja. Because the ninja actually needs that evade. Like, they work really well with evade, and they can take the most damage. So this would have given them, like, dragon armor, tier armor, with the minimum evade penalty. Oh well. Oh well. I guess I could priority the person that has the ability to do Phoenix for resurrection should perhaps be the most protected in the back. I guess. Gah. Twisted my arm. Alright, the Phantom of the Opera. Let's do this. Auto crits. And maybe just buff them up, I guess. Yeah. Unfortunately, didn't get the auto because of turn order. Maybe Dar really shouldn't attack. Doesn't this floor have something on it? Yeah. Kind of felt familiar. Oh! I actually need those. I need a gym. I need a little Jimmy. I know it's going to wreck my fighter, which is I've been really happy about, but this is for achievements. This is the last one. Hey, that's it. We finally caught them all. I should have got that with Ash Ketchum, but it took too long. Goblin Punch. And they're pretty good for XP. But here is the secretest, bestest of secrets. In a second. I regret getting rid of my fighter guy. Heal 3 was so nice. Free casts of heal 3, you know? I guess we can use Ifrit. When else are we going to cast Ifrit in this final dungeon? Might as well be the zombie Ds you can't run away from. Sure, the damage is large. I should also cast Bahamut at some point. At least once. If only we had a Time Wizard with the level 8 spell that lets you basically cast him in one turn twice. Anyway, here's the real win. It does drop our physical defense a bit on Dar, but unquestionably the best is to be resistant to all elements for all party members. Quad ribbon party go. Is this the ending of Final Fantasy V? We're not ready for that yet. Hold on. There we go. Some music that's dire, because we're in trouble. We might lose. You can have some happy music because we got some ribbons, but we haven't beaten the final boss yet. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this final dungeon in my own personal campaign. Basically locking the party into a time loop dungeon where they're theoretically unable to return to the modern time and have to do this all in one run. That sounds very difficult. But if they were level 20 or so, in 5th edition style, there's probably spells that let them take long rests here. I bet you they could figure it out. They're just going to wake up with 4 frost dragons in front of their Leomin's tiny hut. Or inside of a purple worm that just ate them while they were sleeping. I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. I'm not too worried. I do think if I'm using the control whip, you want to attack the target that you're not trying to kill this turn, right? Like, rather than focusing all your damage onto the guy that you're going to control, kind of like a one-shot, just split your targets up like this. A little bit more efficient. I should be checking for more loot, although I think I got the only 2 things that matter. The ribbon and the diamond bracelet are the big boys. Yeah, this is the floor where there's some money and technically a scroll. Okay, let's go. Hey there, Lich. Oh, it would have been nice to have another one of these throat shots. That would work. Well, we'll give it a shot on the headshot. Who knows? And... Wait. Please. No! We could have reflected nuke on him 4 times. That would have been the best. We've been let down. Well, that's all he's gonna do, but... I have to say, Ryu's base damage is just terrible. What is going on, buddy? 48 damage with a katana, hits the Lich for like 30 or something? Ugh. Please. Let's go get him another katana. Maybe that first one's defective. This is why I wanted to keep that fighter around. This is a lot of heal potions on one nuke. I tried to reflect it, I swear. Also, I'm literally gonna run out of heal potions here. This is bad. We lose. Game over. Party sucks. Shouldn't have gone for that achievement. I would also say I'm not getting very good rolls on my Goblin Punch. It can do up to your max HP and damage, We did 100. Where's my 400 damage Goblin Punch that feels like a nuke? You know, for a level 1 spell. So if we go south of here, there is a katana normally, and there is also a couple more scrolls and some money, and another heal 3 potion. Yay. Alright, Carrie. Weak to water, technically. Not weak to status anymore, but she could be. Let me double check her level 2 stats. Not weak, and the magic defense is quite high. So I don't think that's very likely. What did we have a Jamira? Sure, whatever. Bring him out. And I don't really need to silencer anyway. I guess slow would be pretty effective here if we could pull it off. But really what we want is confuse. Ooh. That Jim really took it. Good job, Jimmy. Yeah, 700 HP. That's a pretty good little tank there. He does have stone. It's stone breath. Poison stone. She's already confused, so the fight's basically over. Quit hitting yourself. I say that, and then we don't kill her. Should have power gloved. Should have power gloved earlier. At least she didn't kill me. Okay, poison stone sucks. Never mind, I quit. I thought we could get her with a cool stone elemental stone, but it did not work. Was she weak? Was she resistant to stone elements? It doesn't seem like something she should be, but maybe she is. Oh yeah, she resists stone. Okay, was very low chance then. That's fine. Not sure why she gets that as a resistance, you know, story-wise, but she's boss. Well, it is XP. All right. It is XP. We can Ramu it up, why not? Ah, Ramu, always going last, so you have the least amount of effect. So glad. You can definitely hit hard if you've got the control on the big tough enemy like a Gershark. Beastmaster damage formula must be pretty impressive. Alright, I hate these fights too. I'm gonna call him. We might get killed here, but we can capture something else. At least we got good turn order this time. Mostly I'm just worried I don't have enough heal potions right now, so I need to use other resources before we get hurt. Do you think these guys are stoneable? They are weak to ice, technically. Not like she was going to do anything here. They're probably resistant to stone too. I don't think Jim is a good summon. Should probably just get somebody else next time we fight. Next time we find an enemy that looks good, we'll ditch him. Well, I don't like running out of heal potions before we're even on Tiamat's floor. Maybe we'll get lucky? Man, Beastmaster, if you don't have a good summon, is not very good against bosses. We are going to slow him, though. That'll probably deal with most of the problem. And confuse. So as long as we get good turn order. Yeah. Slow pretty much nerfs Crack into the Bone. Now, if you knew you were going to get the confuse off before he attacked, he would definitely kill himself with, you know, self-punching. But, yeah, we're okay now. Save that. I guess we just buff our damage up. We've won. I don't think it matters. Ramu, why are you so bad? It feels like we spend 2 turns to get Lightning 2 without a buff. Like not even a intelligence boosted Lightning 2. Did I miss anything on that floor? I kind of got distracted there. No, just some garbage potions. And any last secrets on Tia's floor? There is a glass sword. I feel like this is not a good weapon, but I've only seen it like once or twice. Maybe literally once. This is from like Final Fantasy Legends, I think, technically. Not even a real Final Fantasy game. Tons of damage, no hit rate. So when would you want that? Certainly on something that has 3% hit growth per level. Like, it does have the most raw damage. Maybe that's better in terms of just... Yeah. It will pierce through a lot of absorb. Yeah, I think it's better. The higher your level, the more your base hit percent goes up. So a fighter that gets hit percent growth at 3 per level, the ability to have fast, of course, and then you just got a crazy high base damage. Yeah. Unrunnable. Bit worried about this fight, so I'll use a couple resources again. Last Kate Sith, I guess. Wow, 1 for 3, rough. I don't think we're going to stone them, but I figured I'd try. You know what? I'm going to spend a Fenrir here. I don't have the heal potions for this. This is really, really not a great spot to be in. I feel like this guy is useless. Maybe... I don't want to catch him. I want him to die. I guess once you summon him, you can't do anything about it. I guess just attack, but... Sorry, Jamira lovers. Well, we regened a little bit at least. Better than heal potions, I suppose. Okay. Okay, we can run from this. There's my big boy swords. As much as the katana is cool, we need some damage. And I need... Theoretically, 2 level ups gives me another swing. Right? Yeah. 120. Not super likely, given my shortage of heal potions, and rather desperate need to get through here, actually. We are out of heals. Well, I have the heal 2s and 3s, but that's it. Other than in battle heals. I don't... No, we had a preemptive strike. This is runnable, but maybe we don't run. Can't catch anything here. You know, this is a group that would love that Dancer with the multi-haste. Because if I replaced the Summoner with the Dancer, this would be such a good team. The Archer with haste times 3 is really good. The Beastmaster would love it. The Ninja would love it. She can do Swords Dance. She can reduce the enemy's damage. Oh man, she'd be so good on this team. I mean, she's good on probably any team, but yeah. Just pointing that out. We had a preemptive strike, which means we get a charge turn for free, basically. Maybe. Go Bahamut, go. Yeah, I mean, it does a lot of damage. If you manage to get a turn, it's great. Hey there, Tiamat. It's been a while. How you doing? You wanna just die? Don't have any good summons. I think you actually can stone kill her at least if you get a chance. Maybe her physical is the worst. Her AoE is pretty brutal too. In theory, we could Fenrir through that as well. We did not get the slow. We did get the blink effect. She killed Jim. I was gonna turn her to stone with him. How rude. Go for the paralysis then. Maybe we should have done that in the first place. Okay, we've got... Yeah, let's just, power up. I should have Kirin'd. I have to say the glass sword is not off to a great start. Okay, the crit was 400 with no other buffs. Tries the Bane, we're ribboned up. Yeah, no problem. That's fine. Alright, we're good, we're good. We're probably good. Scrub team might be able to pull this one off. There's all the money you need, though. Just in case you're trying to save up. Bring a thief. There you go. I know someone in the comments the first time I had a thief was like, don't worry, Blue, you'll get all your money back eventually. Yeah, it's really nice when the game gives you infinite gold right before the final boss. So happy. Can I make any more arrows that might help me? I can make one more. What would I rather have? He's not a dragon, he's not a fish. But slowing him down would be nice if it works. I could just use the red shirt for that with slow too. Okay, well, I've got this many heal potions left, so guess we use them. Alright, everyone starts nearly full, just barely made it with decent health. Let's fight. From here, I sent the blah 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 story. Actually, how about we don't? How about we run away? See ya. I don't think so, punks. Apparently he's the only boss that does that. Anyway, this might be my favorite thing in Renaissance, honestly. Alright, Chaos. He's just so chaotic. Let's speed up. Yeah. I never managed to get a friend, did I? Unfortunately, Dar, you're not going to be very helpful this fight. Unless you bring somebody in that's helpful, like one of those fighters. It's kind of not helping. I should have given him some better. Maybe I should give him the power glove. Actually, I definitely should have given him the power glove, but I guess we'll do what we can. Chaos has some new immunities, right? I always have to double check when I have a hunter. Bind, Doom, Confuse, Petrify, Silence. You can't silence. Things that I care about is you can't confuse him, petrify him, or silence him. We can paralyze. We can remove his paralyzing hit. We can slow him. But we're trying that already, and I don't have any other things. I guess we'll go for the paralyze. And we can't confuse him. So we go for just dodging, I guess, just in case. Crack, finally, can't kill us. Failed the slow too. Got the Fenrir. No paralyze there. I'm gonna do a couple tempers maybe, because we can't silence him, so he's gonna be able to cure 4 anyway. That will get rid of slow as well, sadly. But try paralyze again. Any other elements? We could put a regen up. We could not stone skin. We could. I guess he does do some magic. We could reflect. That's not too bad. Let's do a power glove, and then maybe I do a reflect after I'm done tempering up a little bit. Missed the leg shot again. Missed the slow again. Let's do one more round of buffing, or at least attempting all these tricks. Leg shot. Power glove. Hey, we got the paralyze. Nice. Can't seem to get the slow 2 off. Well, I have more time now. I think we win, basically. Wait, it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. They tell me. They told me it was guaranteed. What was I going to cast? I was going to put reflect up. Enhance control. He cannot resist being controlled. So saith the ability. I don't know. There is a world where you could just keep charging forever on, like, get the aim up to like 360%, power glove, temper up, fast up, all that stuff. That might be decent. I don't know. Not sure about that. Next turn I attack. Apparently he cannot be controlled, even though it was guaranteed. Alright, swing. Try to slow him for no reason. Just keep charging your bow forever. And Odin gives us crit chance. We have a guaranteed crit. Bahamut gives me XP. Well, we did do 7,000 damage in one hit. So, you know. Surely this group can handle chaos. As long as you get the paralysis arrow and then you win instantly. Because you can't do anything. Well, it really shows the highs and lows of the archer. They're kind of mostly garbage. The Hunter's Mark makes other people always crit, which is always good. But their personal utility in terms of attacking, aiming, even their limit isn't that great. And then the specialty arrows are like a pain in the neck, at least the neck, if not something else, to farm up. But then situationally, very, very useful. Not very good against summons. So if you're fighting summoners, although some arrows work on some summons, if you've got archer summoner team combo, most of the summon bosses are immune to most of the arrow statuses. So it's not free, I guess, but you can still find a way. There's some ways to synergize. But yeah, I have to say Archer's really quite low, even though it can paralyze chaos and make it a free fight. He's not the only one that can do that. And his way requires grinding, and it's still a 50-50. I think there's other characters that don't need any kind of grind and have higher percent chances. So yeah, overall, I have to put the Ranger in a pretty low tier. Maybe below average, like C- or D. Not terrible, not the worst, but not great. I can't think of very many good synergies for him. Other than just bring your best fighter and then give them an auto crit every turn, which is good, but I think you can do better with any character slot. It's like anyone whose job is just to make someone else get a crit is like, yeah, that's pretty solid, but, you know, I would like a little more, I guess. But maybe if that's good enough for you, you want a character that just gives someone else a free crit every turn? Sure. I mean, it's a big advantage. It means you don't need a crit weapon. You can have a 0% crit chance. You don't have to wear that that silk glove, a silk scarf or whatever it is, and then you bypass enemy absorb and just slash them. Might be really good on characters that get a lot of attacks at. It would. Well, the monk gets a lot of crits anyway, but anyone who has a low crit rate would really like it. So yeah, he's fairly low. The summoner, I don't think there's any redemption. There's no redemption arc. They're the worst. Well, it's kind of down to them or the Mystic Knight right now. Spellblade or Rune Knight. Which one's worse? I think the Spellblade's enchant magic is basically always worse than Kate Sith's Confuse. But you don't have to do special fights to get them, at least. You just have to grind them out, which is not great, but you can level them up, right? But they're both in contention for worst. Spellblade gets pretty good weapons. They can... Yeah, if you give them the Excalibur and just forget about their stuff, they could just attack and do good. Summoner is always restrained by their spell slots, and that's kind of all they can do is hope that enemies are confusable, and other than that, maybe slowly summon things. I actually think Summoner might be worse than Rune Knight, even. It's close, though. The two of them are definitely my bottom two. And then above them is probably Archer, Green Mage. They're kind of in like the next bad, but usable. And I think the Thief is actually pretty good. Like, not A tier or S tier, but pretty good. Oh, Beastmaster, definitely like middle of the road. I think Beastmaster is like exactly okay. Very little impresses me. He does have the option of pretty cool, like, you know, having those fighters, and I'm sure there's other enemies you can capture that would work pretty cool too. That's pretty fun. I think the whole thing with capturing a Tyro or T-Rex to unlock pet food that only works for one fight, just too much, too little, too late. You know, you got to get promoted. You need the airship. You need to go catch a T-Rex, which is dumb. I mean, it's a fun quest, but like it's too much hassle. And the reward is temporary buffs that you have to use every fight in the menu. They're not even that expensive, so it's not even like it costs you any real resource. I think they're like... They're carried by control working really reliably early on and giving you extra XP. After that, they're pretty mid, and late game they might be one of the weaker melee classes. Like in that fight against Chaos, if you don't have a summon with you, or your Pokemon died, or you just don't have the right one, he can't really do anything. He doesn't have enough physical damage to really contribute. I could have given him the Massa, but, you know, he's not a primary melee guy. And to be fair, you would have to switch his weapons out. The whips are really good against random enemies that are controllable, but useless against bosses. So you want to switch him to an axe or a sword every time you're switching like encounter types, and that's like just a level of micromanagement I'm not a huge fan of. Like, it's not a huge issue either, but it's kind of more trouble than it's worth for me. I think the Beastmaster just needs a couple tweaks, and then they're a solid C+ or B. But they're close, and as they are, they're a little bit weaker than what I want. The Summoner needs a rework. The Ranger needs a pretty significant rework, maybe not quite as bad. Yeah, maybe that's how I'll rank them. Summoner needs a mega rework. Spellblade needs a mega rework. Archer, a little bit of a buff, like some rework, not too bad, but the arrows especially need a little tweak. The bow mechanics, I think, is a bit on the low end, but he's not too far off. Beastmaster's kind of in that same category. It's pretty good, but needs a little bit of a buff, I think. Thief, I think, is fine. Green Mage might need a little bit of buff, like that Exuviation. They need a little bit more damage. They don't need a ton of damage, but they need a little bit. Those are the kind of low-tier characters. The Bard, I have a hard time ranking because it's spoony. It's just by default, it's a joke. But I actually think in a proper group, they're fine. You just don't want too many support characters. So if I replaced the Summoner with a Bard, it would have been totally fine. I think the Dancer is like the S tier support, and the Bard is going to be like maybe B. As far as support goes, he's like How many support classes are there? Bard, Dancer. I guess you could kind of count White and Green Mage like I did. Maybe Ranger counts as a support because of the critical boost, oddly enough. But, like, you don't want very many pure support characters. You really probably only want one, and then you need the rest of the team to cover the damage to kill stuff, really. I really think optimal party, at most one support character. Unless you've got a Dancer that can also damage, then they're a DPS / support. But you probably don't want Bards and White Mages and Green Mages too many in the same group. And the Summoner maybe counts as support too, because what do they really do? They confuse enemies, they give you Blink, they give you Regen, they sometimes punch one enemy for a little bit less damage than a melee person can. They can cleanse some statuses, they can try to do some damage, but it's going to take a while and it's not very reliable. But while they're doing that, they enchant your weapons for a very short amount of time to maybe like if you got physical party members, they can enchant them to, like, you know, if you had a knight, a death knight, like a paladin, death knight, dragoon plus summoner, maybe those plus fire damage. I still don't think it would be enough, but it still needs priority or something. But that's the same kind of problem. Yeah, I guess the enchantment needs some rework. So that's the Spellblade and the Summoner. Anyone with enchants needs something to change how that works. And I've talked about that lots. But yeah, that's kind of my final review on these guys. I don't think they're terrible. Like, even when I'm saying they're the bottom of my tier list, at least this guy, I don't think it's unusable. I just think it's not as good as the baseline, you know? And I'm mostly comparing him to Black Mage. So compared to his equivalent, not great. Definitely far below a Black Wizard. And then I'm comparing the Beastmaster to what? Kind of a fighter? I mean, he's kind of got some support abilities too, so he's maybe, not sure where you place him, but he uses axes, right? That's a fighter weapon, so maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. I was going to show you guys, just because you made it all the way to the end of the episode, end of the series. I still haven't beaten my solo summoner, so a lot of my practice is coming out of this guy. And not that solo gives you a perfect idea of how strong the class is, but it does really show off their weaknesses when you're running solo and you can only rely on them. It shows you who's self-sustainable on their own. And this is likely the worst of all the new jobs. I think it's the hardest to get out of Canaria to get to Garland. I think nobody else is harder to get the first Garland kill. He's got a nice little blast through for a little while with Confuse. Like, once you get Kate Sith at Matoya's, you can do alright for a while. But once you have to start fighting enemies that hit hard, Confuse is not very reliable, and Ramuh takes too long. So you're limited by your spell slots, and there's a lot of RNG. You need Confuse to hit on all the enemies, and you need it to stay in effect. As soon as something breaks out of Confuse, you're kind of done, because you got no armor, you can't really do damage quickly. Like, in a couple turns you can, but or you can start punching one thing at a time, but like Goblin does pretty good damage, but not as good as just swinging a sword, really. And doesn't really have any weapons that make a difference, so yeah, I think this guy might be the weakest, both in solo and as far as in group. I still have some more practice and more testing, but anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I will eventually beat the game with this guy solo, but it's not very much fun. It sucks. It's maybe worse than Solo Thief in the original game. And as much as Solo White Mage was incredibly slow, and I don't really want to do it ever again, it was kind of fun finding strategies, and it was pretty reliably safe. It just took a long, long time bonking things with your hammers. But at this point in the game, the White Mage was fine. It was actually relatively easy at this point. Whereas the Summoner is, like, still chugging along, kind of slow. Just doesn't have that sustainability like a White Mage. Anyway, that's it. That's all of the themed New Game Plus squads. I think I've done a good justice on all of them. I've definitely recorded a lot of Final Fantasy Renaissance. But there might be some more. If you have some suggestions in comments, you can leave them. I'm not going to stop you. It doesn't mean I'll do them, but I'll think about it. I do have some more solo ones that I'm going to run, either recorded or not. So if you see more, that means I'm still enjoying it, and I think it's fun. But maybe that's it. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you've enjoyed, and have a great day.